Watching movies on a 12,000 square foot scoreboard, tours of a ballpark, and catered Chick-fil-A are not activities I think of camping, but at the Field of Sweet Dreams at American Family Field, these are just a few of the activities planned tonight. Welcome inside American Family Field. How cool is this? And look what's right behind me. There's the big new scoreboard. The Brewer game is about to start. That's one of the first activities tonight is we get to watch the Brewer game as we're setting up camp. So, welcome inside American Family Field. Oh, look. There's a chorizo. This is going to be a fun night. The journey to get to this point was a little chaotic. Once we got our envelope with our lanyards, we had to stand in line. And you had to stand in line prior to the doors opening. So while we did that, we took a look at the schedule for the night. Make sure if you're coming to bring some sort of wagon or cart. This will help with carting your stuff down the concourse. Once you get to the steps, you do have to carry everything down. Right at 5 o'clock, the doors open and it was a mad dash to set your camps up. At the end of the video, I'll cover all the costs, what was included, and why our night ended a little bit early. Since it was only for one night and there was no rain, there was no need for a rain fly, and also we only needed a bed, a sheet, and not too much in our bags. We then kind of tooled around to see what was going on. Our first stop was the Brewers dugout. Some of us enjoyed the steps, others wanted to see how we'd look sitting on the rail. And before long, it was time to enjoy some dinner. Dinner and all the meals were catered by Chick-fil-A, so this was a buffet of either sandwiches or nuggets with plenty of sides. After dinner, we burned off some energy at the US Cellular Playground, but mostly our son just wanted to go on the slide. While the Brewer game was continuing on, people were tossing baseballs, we figured this was a good time to go on our stadium tour. In all the years I've been going to games at this location, previously Miller Park, now American Family Field, I've never taken a stadium tour, so it was cool to see the behind the scenes, like the golf cart for Major League. We also got to take some photos and sit in the interview room where press conferences are held. After Brewer games, we got to see where the roof controls are done, Jumbotron broadcast is done. There's a lot of walking, but this little kid handled it well. Another highlight is we got to go in the Brewers radio broadcast booth, and I got to sit in Bob Uecker's chair. We didn't get to go in the Brewers clubhouse, but we did get to see the visitors clubhouse. Once that was done, we had some dessert and popcorn and caught the end of the Brewer game. All right, big Brewer win. We're winding down here for the evening. We're getting ready to watch Monsters, Inc. here on the field, and then it's going to be bedtime. So wrapping up our evening here. It's been a fun evening so far. We went on a stadium tour. We had dinner. We had dessert. It's been a real fun time. So on to Monsters, Inc. Our son loved watching Monsters, Inc., and once that was done, they had a Brewers player read a bedtime story to everyone on the field. And this is where the night gets interesting. 5 till 11. Almost like that. Don't ask. 12:47. We're done for the night. Thanks, Am Fam. We had a fun evening until it was bedtime, so good night. I'll explain later. And as you can see from that clip, our night ended, I think, like I said, it was sometime in the morning. Everything was going really well. We watched the movie. We listened to the story. There was a few songs prior to about, like, it's time for bed kind of type songs, and then it was just lights off. Now, normally, with our 3-year-old, we have a nice bedtime routine. We read a story. We keep it nice and quiet. He just has his little hatch light on, and it's a little less stimulation. So I think that was one thing, that there's a lot going on, and then poof, time for bed. Number 2, it was also very hot and humid that night. The roof was open, but there wasn't much airflow through the stadium itself, so it was kind of warm. There was a few other families that were struggling with kids getting to sleep, and some other families did leave as well. We made the decision at about whatever time that was. We couldn't get him to sleep. We take him to the concourse. I even took him into the visitors dugout because that was nice and dark. Tried to rock him and sleep him, and nothing was just going to work. And at that point, we knew we weren't going to miss that much the next day, and we knew we were going to get a crummy night's sleep, and he was going to be a mess the next day. And we already had seen, like, 2/3 of the activities, so we made the decision just to leave. We still got a really good experience and a really good flavor for what the Field of Sweet Dreams experience is. Not every event you go to is going to be a success. That's something I've learned having kids and having our son that sometimes that's how life is, and you just accept it, you laugh about it, and you move on. So lastly, I want to go through the costs. There's a little bit of a kind of a breakdown of the costs here. I'll throw them up on the screen because it is like a little bit confusing. Overall, really fun event. I thought it was really well put together. Something that if you are a big baseball fan, if your kids are in baseball or softball or anything like that, it is a lot of fun to play catch on the field, to go throw in the dugout, and do the stadium tours, I would say. It is fairly costly, so even for myself and my wife with our son being free, it was still $300, which is pretty pricey, I would say, for what you get. If you just look at, I'm camping and eating some meals. So take that into consideration. We still really liked it. And I did get this cool thing. Merch is not cheap at all, but this is something I've wanted to get, are custom jerseys for all my favorite sports teams. So I finally got my Brewers one, so I'm pretty excited about that. If you got any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to answer them. I'd love to answer our experience and the time we had. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though we didn't make it the full way through. But on to the next thing, right? So until next time, Michael signing off. Enjoy your adventure.